Immigration Minister Marc Miller rejects residency for undocumented immigrants. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today, we're diving into a major and controversial development in Canadian immigration policy. Immigration Minister Marc Miller has made a bold decision that has everyone talking. He's rejecting residency for undocumented immigrants. What does this mean for Canada, for undocumented workers, and for the future of our immigration system? Stay tuned as we break it all down and explore the impact of this decision on Canadian society. If you're interested in keeping up with the latest immigration news and learning more about what life is really like in Canada, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Your support really helps the channel grow. Let's get started. In a significant and somewhat controversial policy decision, Immigration Minister Marc Miller has announced that the Canadian government will not be extending residency status to undocumented immigrants currently residing in the country. This decision marks a distinct departure from earlier considerations by the Trudeau government, which had once entertained the idea of exploring pathways to regularize the status of undocumented workers who contribute to the Canadian economy and communities. However, after careful deliberation, the government has concluded that such a move does not align with the broader views and values of most Canadian citizens. A change in government perspective. In 2021, the Trudeau administration initiated discussions on the possibility of regularizing the status of undocumented immigrants who were making significant contributions to Canadian society. The proposal was part of a broader strategy to address ongoing labor shortages and recognize the efforts of individuals who, despite lacking legal status, were vital to the economy. The idea was seen as a potential win-win solution that could help alleviate the pressures on certain industries while also providing security and stability to those living in precarious conditions. However, as the discussions progressed, it became increasingly clear that the broader Canadian public was not entirely supportive of this initiative. Public opinion appeared divided, with many expressing concerns about the potential implications of such a policy. In light of this, Marc Miller, reflecting the government's position, confirmed that they would not move forward with the regularization plan. He acknowledged the frustrations of those in precarious situations due to their undocumented status but emphasized that the government needed to be realistic about what could be achieved in the current political and social climate. This shift in perspective is significant because it reflects the government's responsiveness to public sentiment. While there is an understanding of the economic and humanitarian arguments in favor of regularization, the government has recognized that such a program does not currently have the widespread public support necessary for successful implementation. This decision underscores the delicate balance that policymakers must strike between addressing immediate economic needs and maintaining the integrity and fairness of the immigration system. The scope of undocumented immigration. The issue of undocumented immigration in Canada is far from negligible. Estimates suggest that there are between 300,000 and 500,000 undocumented immigrants currently residing in the country. This population is diverse and includes a wide range of individuals, from those who have overstayed their visas to failed refugee claimants and foreign students whose permits have expired without securing permanent residency. The presence of such a significant number of undocumented immigrants presents a complex challenge for the government. The lack of precise data on the exact number of undocumented immigrants further complicates the situation. Without accurate figures, it becomes challenging to formulate policies that address their situation comprehensively. Moreover, many of these individuals have already had opportunities to apply for legal status but were unsuccessful in their efforts, adding another layer of complexity to the issue. The challenge of public perception. One of the critical factors influencing the government's decision is the broader public perception of undocumented immigrants. While there is a recognition that many undocumented individuals contribute positively to Canadian society, there is also a widespread concern about the potential impact of granting them residency status. Many Canadians worry that such a move could undermine the integrity of the immigration system and encourage others to disregard immigration laws. There is a fear that offering residency to undocumented immigrants could set a precedent that might lead to future waves of illegal immigration. If individuals believe that they can eventually secure legal status by remaining in the country long enough, it could lead to an erosion of the rule of law within Canada's immigration framework. This concern is not unfounded, as similar situations in other countries have sometimes led to increased illegal immigration and strained public services. The Canadian public's apprehension is further fueled by the idea that granting residency to undocumented immigrants could be perceived as unfair to those who have followed the legal immigration process. Many Canadians feel that offering legal status to those who have not adhered to the established procedures would be an affront to the millions of immigrants who have worked hard to navigate the complex and often challenging immigration system. This sense of fairness and justice is a deeply ingrained value in Canadian society, and it plays a significant role in shaping public opinion on immigration issues. Ottawa's broader immigration strategy. The decision to forego a broad regularization program is part of a larger strategy to manage Canada's immigration system more effectively. The government has set ambitious goals for reducing the number of temporary residents, currently at 6.2% of the population, to 5% by 2027. This reduction is seen as necessary to balance the needs of the labor market with the capacity of the immigration system and to ensure that the system operates efficiently and fairly. Reducing the number of temporary residents is a challenging task that requires careful planning and execution. The government must navigate the complexities of the labor market, which relies heavily on temporary workers in various sectors, while also addressing the long-term sustainability of the immigration system. The focus on reducing the number of temporary residents reflects an effort to streamline the immigration process and ensure that it is aligned with the country's economic and social goals. Minister Marc Miller has emphasized the importance of setting realistic goals in this context. The government must demonstrate its ability to manage immigration effectively to maintain public trust. This means ensuring that the immigration system is not only fair and transparent but also capable of adapting to the changing needs of the economy and society. The decision to prioritize the reduction of temporary residents is a clear indication that the government is committed to maintaining the integrity of the immigration system while also addressing the country's labor needs. The role of labor market needs. Despite ruling out a broad regularization program, the government has not entirely closed the door on the possibility of sector-specific exemptions. Minister Miller mentioned that the government is still considering granting status exemptions for undocumented immigrants working in critical sectors like healthcare and construction, where labor shortages are particularly acute. These sectors are essential to the Canadian economy, and the need for workers in these areas has only grown due to the ongoing challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. The idea of sector-specific exemptions is driven by the recognition that certain industries are facing significant labor shortages that could have severe economic consequences if not addressed. The healthcare sector, in particular, is under immense pressure due to the demands of the pandemic, and the construction industry plays a vital role in the country's economic recovery efforts. Allowing undocumented immigrants to continue working in these sectors could help alleviate some of these pressures and support the overall economic stability of the country. However, the government must carefully consider the potential risks and challenges associated with sector-specific exemptions. Expanding the immigration system to accommodate these exemptions could strain resources and divert attention from other important immigration programs, such as refugee resettlement or family reunification. Moreover, there is the potential for abuse, with individuals possibly exploiting these exemptions by fabricating job offers or obtaining false employer confirmations to qualify for residency status. Risks and challenges of sector-specific exemptions. The potential for abuse in sector-specific exemptions is a significant concern. Offering residency to undocumented immigrants in certain sectors could create a market for fraudulent activities, where individuals might pay for fake job offers or employer confirmation letters to qualify for residency status. Such fraudulent activities could further complicate the management of Canada's immigration system and undermine its integrity. The government must also consider the broader implications of sector-specific exemptions on the immigration system as a whole. While addressing labor shortages in critical sectors is important, it is equally essential to ensure that the immigration system remains fair and transparent. Creating exemptions for certain sectors could lead to perceptions of favoritism or unfairness, which could erode public trust in the immigration process. Moreover, the implementation of sector-specific exemptions could lead to unintended consequences, such as the creation of a two-tiered immigration system where certain groups of immigrants are given preferential treatment based on their occupation. This could further complicate the already complex immigration system and create additional administrative burdens for the government. The importance of maintaining public trust. Throughout this process, the government must remain mindful of the importance of maintaining public trust in the immigration system. The Canadian public expects the government to manage immigration in a way that is fair, transparent, and aligned with the country's values. Any policy changes or exemptions must be carefully considered and communicated to the public to ensure that they are understood and accepted. Public trust is particularly crucial in the context of immigration, where perceptions of fairness and justice play a significant role in shaping public opinion. The government must demonstrate that it is capable of managing the immigration system effectively while also addressing the needs of the economy and society. This requires a careful balancing act between enforcing immigration laws, addressing labor shortages, and ensuring that the immigration system remains accessible to those who follow the legal process. The decision by Immigration Minister Marc Miller and the Canadian government to reject a broad regularization program for undocumented immigrants reflects a careful balancing of economic, humanitarian, and political considerations. While there is a clear recognition of the contributions that undocumented immigrants make to the Canadian economy, the government has determined that granting residency status to this population is not a viable option at this time. As the government continues to navigate the complexities of Canada's immigration system, it must balance the needs of the labor market with the imperative to maintain the integrity and fairness of the immigration process. The potential for sector-specific exemptions remains a topic of debate, with concerns about administrative burdens and the risk of exploitation. Ultimately, the government's decision underscores the importance of pursuing immigration policies that are both practical and aligned with the values and expectations of Canadian citizens. The path forward will require careful consideration of all these factors, as well as a commitment to upholding the principles of fairness and the rule of law in managing Canada's immigration system. The government's approach to immigration is a reflection of its broader commitment to maintaining a stable and prosperous society. By carefully considering the needs of the labor market, the integrity of the immigration system, and the values of Canadian citizens, the government is taking steps to ensure that Canada remains a welcoming and fair country for all who seek to build a better life here. The challenge lies in finding the right balance between these competing interests, a task that will require ongoing dialogue, transparency, and a nuanced understanding of the complex issues at play. As Canada navigates this delicate balance, the government's decisions will have lasting impacts on the nation's social fabric and economic future, underscoring the importance of thoughtful and inclusive policymaking in addressing the diverse needs of all Canadians. Thanks for watching this episode of Canada Chronicles. Immigration is a complex and evolving topic, and it's important to stay informed about how decisions like these impact our communities. What do you think about Minister Marc Miller's decision to reject residency for undocumented immigrants? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might find it useful. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop with the latest updates on life in Canada. Until next time, see you in the next video.